Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. First of all, this channel is proudly sponsored by the Era Crueltide Pocket Rulebook Kickstarter. In this tabletop RPG, Santa Claus has been captured, and you need to rescue him, role-playing as any sort of fantasy creature imaginable. You could be a human with holiday powers. You could be one of Santa's helpers, an elf, maybe a talking reindeer, perhaps a gingerbread cookie golem. You need to restore the holiday cheer. Definitely check out the Kickstarter. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. Check out those stretch goals. This channel is also proudly sponsored by Dead Tree Studios, the publishers and developers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop role-playing game where you play as monster girls experiencing high adventure in a world that doesn't fully accept them. The publisher has also released Daughters of Lamb, a pay-what-you-want tabletop RPG, where you get to play as cybernetic nuns with guns, looking for the missing pieces of their AI god. You will find it in their website. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. This channel is also proudly sponsored by the Red Room Publishing. Please check out their store for exclusive tabletop RPG products and check out their free tabletop RPG, the Red Role Playing Game. A generic system able to handle any sort of theme, genre, flavor, setting that you can think of. Definitely check it out. You will find the link in the description and in the pinned comment as well. Now, a moment please while I maximize. There we go. Today, I am continuing my review and guide series featuring the solo FlexTale solo adventuring toolkit. It is such a mammoth tome. It is oop, so shiny and beautiful, thick, heavy, very heavy. If you haven't seen the other parts of this review and guide series, please check out the playlist in the description below. Many would consider this the ultimate tool for solo gaming, but it is like this is expert level. If you want something completely as light as possible, get the a free Tricube Tales Game Master emulator. If you want something a bit more middle level, the Mythic Game Master Emulator Second Edition, which it was basically what started the whole solo role playing thing. It is incredibly important. Well, the first edition, right? But second edition is even better. But this one, this expert level. You could, as a beginner, use just the quick start section, which is kind of like a few pages at the start, but you will be wasting your money. Although it is incredibly, that is the PDF for this costs $3 at the time of this video, $3, and it is how many pages? More than 606 pages, more than that, easily more than that. Yeah, no, it's 612 pages in total. But if you want to get it as a physical copy, definitely worth the investment. This video is handled differently when compared to my other reviews because here I am also providing a sort of guide on how to use the content. And this time, we are going to talk about the balance point handicaps. What is this? In this section, at first, it makes you think, why are they putting this in a solo tabletop RPG book, right? It's because it is incredibly useful when it comes to getting some fair or unfair situations in your solo games. Oftentimes, when you are playing solo tabletop RPGs, you may end up with situations that make you think, am I making things too easy for me? Maybe you are biased. No, you want your characters to succeed. And suddenly you're coming up with these interpretations that are very convenient. You make your rolls, you check out the tables. Oh, that's very convenient for the situation, right? But other times you are a bit too harsh on yourself. You could be applying too many penalties or challenging situations because you don't want to make things too easy for you. And sometimes you may consider that you are being unfair with yourself. But this section has you covered. What is this? These are guidelines on how to handle various penalties and boosts. Let me show you this table. Let me get that into proper focus, do you see that table over here? Mm, you have various percentages values just to figure out what could be considered a crippling penalty, a major penalty, perhaps a medium boost, a major boost. So you only need to compare this with the situations that are occurring within the game. But that is not all. Depending on these handicaps, you're going to get rewards or penalties at the end of the adventure. So that gets you pretty guilt free. If you're someone that is constantly thinking, these combat encounters, I was being too hard on myself. I started to interpret things uh, quite even not very friendly in terms of context. It doesn't make sense that there were so many difficulties, right? But you ended up with all of that, and you don't want to go back and retcon or destroy the session that you have already played because it happened in the fiction. It stays in the fiction. But with this, now you can apply those rewards. Let's say that you suffered some sort of crippling penalty, right? Your encounters, your traps, your hazards, the mysteries, the puzzles were so difficult, unnecessarily difficult, perhaps. But now you go to the crippling penalty table. Show it to you. Do you see it? And that table, it contains the percentages on the more experience points that you obtain, perhaps reputation, it's a reputation based reward, maybe it's a monetary reward, but now it goes up. You make your d20 roll with this table because you suffered some crippling penalties during the game, and now you get more rewards for that. The other good thing about these tables is that maybe it's just a single encounter that was too unbalanced, right? Not even unbalanced. That term doesn't really apply in most situations. I would rather say that makes no sense with the context. Too difficult when it should have been a bit less less hard. But now you have your crippling penalty table. You make your roll, and because of that difficulty, now you get extra rewards. But what if you ended up with some notorious substantial advantages? Maybe you were playing your zombie apocalypse solo tabletop RPG, and suddenly you realized that you were finding weapons everywhere, supplies everywhere. There were barely zombies around, and it seemed just too easy, right? But now let's say that not incredibly easy, but significantly easy, and you decide that you're going to apply the medium boost table. Here's the medium boost table. Let me show it to you. Uh, Medium boost. You see it. Medium boost table. Mhm. So you make your d20 roll, and wow, minus 25% of the experience points rewards. Or you only get a normal advancement. It could be anything. It could be a plot related advancement. It could be, like I said, related to some items that you can acquire. And so the rewards for that day, again, going back to the zombie apocalypse type of situation, maybe usually in that system you make a foraging roll, and instead of obtaining, let's say, 5 rations, you apply the penalty, and maybe you only obtain the 3 or 2 packs of rations, right? So this is a really good set of tables. You also have details on the persistent handicap effects that could be applied. Mm, you also have details rather tables to roll related to various rewards. How you could end up in a more challenging situation because you went through the easy route. Maybe you could also apply that to the role play. You are having a particular scenario. Let's say you're moving in a steampunk type of situation. Mm, and because you decided to go through the safest part of the city, you missed some vital clues that were only obtained in the darkest corners of the metropolis. So these tables are great for that, and they are all based on rewards. Here you have a more rewards tables. You can handle it however you like. Let me show it to you. No rewards, 1d3 penalties. That's it in the case of let me check the no rewards table. There are also quest penalties, but what if there are extra level rewards? Oh, look at this. Roll two, pick one. Maybe you have your favorite. You see the table? Maybe you have your favorite treasure table from maybe you're playing a fantasy tabletop RPG, and now you get to roll to pick extra rewards from the loot, from the chest that you opened or whatever, because it makes sense, right? If it was a very challenging encounter with all sorts of traps and enemies, it makes sense that perhaps they were guarding even more treasure. So overall, great section. Remember, this is the FlexTale solo adventuring toolkit. Ah, there we go. Very difficult to focus it, get a good focus, mm, because the cover is so shiny. What a beautiful book, and it has lasted me for so long. This is like, how you say, the turning point when Drive Thru RPG improved their print-on-demand books. This book has lasted for a long time, and I am constantly using this, both in solo and cooperative gaming, and even in my multiplayer sessions that is playing as a game master with other people, or even if you play without a game master, you can easily run a co-op session, everybody participating as a player character with no game master, just using this book. But like I said, expert level, you have to really know, like, oh, you want to go to the section where the fantasy environments are, then you have to go to the appendices, right? Oh, you want to determine the quests, how the quests are going to flow, then you get into the solo exploration quests, etc. So if you, unless you have a bit of practice, maybe some bookmarks as well, it could be a bit difficult to use at the table. So consider that. But once you are familiar with it, once you apply the proper bookmarks, and if you purchase the pack with the PDF, then it's going to be perfect. So yeah, definitely check out that section. In the next part of this guide and review series, we are going to take a look at the. Uh, uh, let me check. Oh, where is it? We're going to talk about more handicaps, rules adjustments, handicaps and rules adjustments. That is, they could be good things or bad things. So the rules adjustments, that is going to be the focus of the next video. Thank you for watching this review and guide video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the super thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description and in the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master, and remember, in tabletop role-playing games, you are not telling stories about your characters. You are experiencing the game world as your characters. Once again, thank you and see you later.